Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at a few different coins. This is basically the top 50 coins that, nothing that I personally feel. These are just the most requested coins that I get, and I figure I cover 3 per video here. So we're just trying something new. Let me know if you like this format a little bit better. I released a top 5 video earlier where I covered Ethereum, BNB, and XRP because I do cover Bitcoin daily as well. But right now we're just going to focus on the 3 most requested top 50 coins here in the market, which would be, let's go ahead and find them here. We got VeChain, Near Protocol, and Optimism. Okay, so we're going to take a look at those 3 here today, kind of see what's going on. And we're just going to start with some new, fresh, clean charts and make sure that we take a quick peek at, well, really what's going on. And just before we jump into that too, I got some important things I want to review to you here and just kind of touch on this because we do have this exclusive event from BingX. Today's the last day available for it, so make sure you jump on over there. You got a $100 bonus for $3,000 in volume and $50 bonus for a $50 deposit. So pretty simple, easy money there. Kind of a fun little thing there as well. But BingX is awesome because there's no KYC or VPN required, specifically for those living in the US or, of course, Canada as well. A lot of my members were impacted by that, so thank you so much, BingX, for bringing that to our community. Speaking of community, we've got an awesome Discord community over here. Be sure to check that out. All my videos are uploaded here frequently, but what I want to show you here is that this is kind of where I go to be able to take these requests here. So anytime you have a request, you come on over here. I covered WorldCoin here recently, Ethereum Classic, STX, APT, a lot of different things that are kind of just fun to check out because I love analysis and TA, so be sure to consider checking that out. We've got a Twitter and Telegram linked down below too if you're kind of more interested in like the technical and fundamental aspect of things. A lot of cool information there. Check that out. Thank you so much again for your feedback, whomever and whatever you're doing. All right, greatly appreciate it. It's really cool to be able to interact with you. All right, so let's start with just Near Protocol. Again, these are no specific order, just simply the 3 top requested top 50 coins here. So for Near Protocol, what we want to do is kind of draw some Fibonacci levels. We'll draw some most recent Fibonacci retracement levels, kind of see what's going on here. We can see this level at 0.382 is kind of a point of contention. Price wicked up there a couple of times, hasn't been able to pass that yet. Does feel, and again, based on some of the larger, more macro stuff I've been looking at here, Near does feel like it's going to be coming down a little bit further. You got to recognize too that Bitcoin is having some serious struggles here today. We've got a gravestone doji candle forming, so if we cannot close above, just say 29,400 today, it's a good chance we'll see coins like Near Protocol, OP, and VET probably come back down. Okay, so just be prepared for that. I would expect the worst and hope for the best. My grandpa always taught me that, and it served me well. So let's start with the daily here and work our way down. So we're looking at the daily. You can see we got rejected off 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is coming down. We have our second divergence here on stochastics. It's actually perfect for a potential short, but more importantly, along when the next bottom occurs, right? So again, we just want to anticipate the worst case scenario, and it does look like we're still diverging on the MACD as well. So in truth, Near Protocol, that the macro isn't looking fantastic. We're also barely treading water here above the 50-day SMA. That's pretty much our only saving grace. If we lose that, it's, I wouldn't say dump city, but probably going to see further downside, a likely retest of the 131 range. Okay, so looking at the 4-hour here, we're going to kind of identify a couple of things here. First of all, we are just below 50 on the RSI, and we are doing fairly well in the overall sense of a short position, right? So in other words, I have a lot of community members that are shorting Near Protocol right now. So that's why I think that you're doing well. Of course, congrats, you're probably in profit. But the bottom line here is that we are bearish divergence on pretty much all areas, right? We're below 50 on the RSI. Stochastic is coming down. We've got MACD divergence. All the typical traditional indicators are telling us we want to see further downside. We take a look at the moving averages. We're below all 3 as well. So there's literally nothing here telling us that this coin should take off in the near future. No pun intended by saying near future, by the way. That just kind of happened naturally. Take a look at the Ichimoku cloud. We are now below the cloud here, and this is pretty much a definitive indication that we are breaking bearish. It's not to say that the price is going to dump, but it is telling us that the price is probably going to continue lower and potentially reject off this lower Ichimoku cloud range. Okay, so again, it's probably a good indication we're going to see a bounce off 139 to the downside. We'll see here in a moment if there's any other indication of what's going on here. We're not overextended by any stretch either, so the hourly looks also fairly bearish. So really, every single time frame is not looking good for this Near Protocol here. There's really not a lot of positivity. So if you're going to invest in this one, I'd highly recommend waiting a little bit longer. If you're looking for some dollar cost average targets, somewhere along the lines of 135, 133, and 131 would be appropriate targets to shoot for. Yeah. So again, just something to kind of think about there. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to OP here. So optimism, are you optimistic on this coin? Well, let's see if it's worthwhile, right? It does look fairly bullish in the overall sense of things. Got a nice ascending trend here starting to form. So we can kind of see so far that there is a few areas that the price action had some difficulty crossing. So just to note, we got this resistance level slash turn support right here at about 158. So if the price does pull back any further, that should be a good bouncing point. Okay, so again, nice ascending trend breakout there for that double top. Or correction, the somewhat of a cup and handle pattern here. You can kind of see that jumped up there. So this is good news for optimism. It does tell us that further upside is more likely here. Let's take a quick look at the, see here, we can kind of see, let's see if there's any potential, like how far down the price is going to go if we pull back. It's important to recognize that there are some levels here to look at. Once again, 0.236, 161 is a point there. We should see a bouncing point. We've obviously also already bounced out that level, so there's a good chance we shouldn't see a price action lower than that, at least regarding what we see here so far with the limited data. Now again, we don't make decisions based on one time frame, right? We take a decision based on larger, a lot of different time frames. And to me, 1 hour, 4 hour, and the 1 day are the most ideal time frames to focus on. Yes, there's other ones you can look at too for more, day trading perspectives. But the way that I make these videos here, it doesn't make a ton of sense to, find day trading opportunities unless you look at micro, and those are things, we have that in our premium plus section, but generally speaking, I more so gravitate a little bit more towards swing trades that are held for a day, upwards of a week or two tops. Okay, so again, kind of the strategy I like to apply here. So that being said, looking at this time frame here with the daily, we can see that we are actually looking pretty good compared to other coins, right? So a lot of other top 50 coins are struggling right now. They're below 50 in the RSI. This one's treading above that. And it's getting closer to 70, honestly, which tells us there's somewhat of a resistance there at about the 177 mark. We take a look at the MACD, we're converging here as well, and we're likely seeing this nice ascending trend with the 50-day SMA working itself upwards with the trend. Okay, so again, the trend is your friend. Awesome stuff there. Be sure to consider that until the trend breaks, it's going to continue, right? So we want to assume that this trend will continue upwards and the price will ascend positively. So I'm more bullish so far on OP at this point based on what I see here so far. Keep in mind, we see this retracement here in the last 8 hours. That is very similar to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin struggling here at the lower 29.2 range. So that being said, there's a decent chance OP should bounce from here. But let's find out a little bit further on the 4 hour what else is going on. Taking a look at the ascending trend here with the RSI, looking very positive there. I like what I see there. Definitely on the right side of the tracks. It is a bit on the overextended side, so a pullback makes sense, which we're seeing right now. So I'd say that 161 would probably be a good entry point if the price were to pull back any further. Again, emphasis on if. It doesn't look like it wants to, but you got to keep in mind if Bitcoin pulls back, OP should as well, right? But again, it may not pull back significantly. So we look at this behavior. Take a look at Bitcoin. Sideways, down, sideways. OP, up, sideways, up. Okay, almost a mirror image of that. So I'm not implying that Bitcoin drops, OP will take off. But I am implying that OP is holding fairly strong in the face of this resistance from Bitcoin having difficulty wanting to break through that level. So to me, OP looks pretty strong here at this point. That being said, all in all, pretty good shape there in the overall sense of things. The 4 hour time frame looks great. Taking a look quickly at the moving averages above all three as well. Again, the trend is your current friend. All right, so taking a look at the hourly, last thing we want to kind of look at here to me is a few key factors. So TD sequential, we're coming down to a 6. We've seen previously that it does hit 8s and 9s, fairly consistent, and it turns itself around. So 6, 7, 8s, and 9s are pretty consistent. So we're seeing a 6 now, potential reversal, a lot of identification here of overextension, which is good because that really tells you that this coin, when it moves in a direction, it'll continue moving that direction until it hits specific targets. So with us being at a 6 here on the hourly, that's an extremely positive situation there for us. Ichimoku cloud as well, we can see ascending positively. Nice lagging span intersecting with the price action fairly soon. So that does imply a long position could come to an end if you have one up from below. You honestly should have taken profits by now if you have a long position open, but a new long might be appropriate considering you're coming into the cloud here. So if we can close today in this range or higher, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape to be able to move upwards from here. But again, OP looks pretty strong here in the overall sense of things. Be mindful that if Bitcoin dumps, OP should as well. But it may not be a massive dump like other coins. I think it'll probably be a push down to previous support levels. Let's take a quick look at liquidity as well. We got a lot of liquidity here at about 153 to 154, and then previously resistance there, turn support at 156. So this level here between 157 and 161 is an area that would be a nice accumulation zone, because again, that's probably likely bouncing point for us. Once again, that's if the price pulls back. Let's take a quick look at Elliott Wave, tell us if there's anything here. I think it was a 4-hour that shows us some indication that we could see a 151 as a potential. Okay, now again, this is a pretty strong, Elliott Wave is not 100%. I need to preface that and let you know that it's one of those things that it takes a little while to get where it needs to go. Okay, so in other words, at this point, we're still waiting for the top to begin. If this is the top, then our next pullback should be 0.382 or 0.5, somewhere in the 143 to 151 range. Okay, again, just something to consider. All right, very last thing we want to take a look at here is VeChain. This is another highly contested coin, or just a coin that we get tons of requests on. I like to make sure to kind of cover it. We'll go ahead and jump on into the Fibonacci levels here and kind of see, just quickly note from a bird's eye perspective, we're consolidating nicely in the support range here between 0.382 and 0.236. So ultimately we're looking at 1.8 to 1.9 as the range that we're probably going to be stuck within. But here's the thing, we want to, again, try to compare your coins to Bitcoin whenever possible to identify a similar behavior, right? So in essence, what you want to look at here is the behavior between this coin and the other, right? So Bitcoin shot up pretty strong, sideways, and mostly down. Take a look at VeChain. It shot up moderately strong, came down, increased and decreased. So it's kind of inconsistent in a sense, but anytime Bitcoin has somewhat of a sell-off, so you saw this 3-day sell-off here, the 4th day was, of course, a recovery, and it continued up from there, whereas Bitcoin shot up and broke its resistance. Once again, VeChain was unable to make higher highs at that point. So we can kind of disseminate here that with that kind of behavior, we are breaking down more bearishly, and that this coin isn't inversely paired. It's paired fairly well with Bitcoin, but struggling a little bit more because, once again, it's overextended from previous. Okay. So to me, we're probably more likely to see a decrease in value here if Bitcoin loses that support level than we would see, just say, for comparison to Optimism coin, for example. Okay. So just something to kind of think about. And again, remember, OP is above 50 on the RSI. We got this below 50 on the RSI and a rejection here too. Very similar in a lot of ways to Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin's chart, and this is VET. Okay. So again, VET's trying, but it's having difficulty staying above that level. Strong resistance here for the MACD divergence as well. So all in all, more likely for downside. Again, similar to Bitcoin here, where it's treading water right there at the 50-day SMA. Bitcoin did lose that, where VeChain's still above. Now, is that a reason to take a long position? Absolutely not. It's not a great sign, but one thing we can disseminate here is that this little pattern is looking fairly decent. This is a bullish continuation type of pattern. When you have the price action come up, work itself into a wedge, it'll typically break upwards versus downwards because it derived from the bottom. Okay, so again, the original starting point was down, and it came up. It should likely continue higher as we work ourselves here. So normally, you do not want to celebrate lower lows and parallel lows. It's typically a bad sign. But once again, these lower highs and parallel lows usually breaks to the downside, minus the fact that we came from the upside. So again, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything obnoxious and break to the 28,000 range today or soon, we really should probably see VeChain excel and increase based on the macro movement that we're seeing there. Taking a look at the 4-hour though, again, this is not fantastic by any stretch. We're still mostly bearish here. We're under 50 on the RSI. MACD is essentially looking bearish as well. It's typically a strong sign to short, or just more so to wait for a long. And ultimately, we're not looking fantastic here for VeChain on the 4-hour. We take a look at the moving averages, same thing as well. We're below all three. A lot of coins are saying that right now. Last but not least, take a look at the 1-hour Ichimoku cloud. We're below the cloud, mostly bearish, but again, slightly range bound, so not truly indicative. And we can see here with Ichimoku cloud concurrent with TD sequential, we're seeing a breakdown here as well. So to me, even though I like that ascending wedge type of pattern that we have, the ascending triangle, I don't love that as well, right? It's not always a guarantee it's going to break up. And with Bitcoin kind of being on the edge of disaster, probably not worth a long position unless you use low leverage and low position sizing. So please do yourself a favor and do not get wrecked. That's kind of why I have my trading academy and community, is to help you get back on the right track if you've had some trouble, right? Again, really cool opportunities there, and I love to be able to work with my community members. So thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope this was excuse me, beneficial for you. Sorry, talking a lot today. And just if so, comment below. Kindly let me know. Like, follow, subscribe on my Twitter, as well as, of course, Telegram and Discord. There's a lot of cool opportunities there. And if you want to make your own requests, come on over here to the request section in our Discord there and check it out. I got a lot of cool things here with some playout charts. And obviously, every single video that I upload is available here too. But we all just love to learn and grow together. It's a fantastic experience. Phenomenal traders there too. So thanks again for being an amazing part of my life. I look forward to working with you, regardless of whatever the context is. Thanks again. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon.